Hello and welcome. I'm Wild Chevy, joined
And I'm
by Rocket Yeti, and you're watching the Atomic Salt live show.
this is the alpha version, so don't judge us by this.
It'll get better from here, we hope. So, like I said, I'm Wild Chevy.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, first, why you guys want to watch us? We are going to be talking about miniature wargaming, the hobby, painting, games, everything that's coming up. We want to share it with you.
And there's a lot of, you say, well, what makes that different from everybody else? Well, as you notice, we're using Google Hangouts. And the idea behind this is we don't just want to talk to you, we want to talk with you. So right now, while there's nobody listening, it's a little bit about talking to an empty room. But eventually, we want to try and start bringing you guys on board with this. And so we can actually have live discussions instead of you just watching the video yourself.
All right, so we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. So, Casey, what brought you into the hobby?
I got into this hobby playing the Dawn of War series, like I know a lot of people did. I was pretty much a computer gamer. I'd only seen tabletop being played by these other really weird guys back in college. I actually have no idea what game they were playing, other than it looked like it was vaguely World War II-ish. But at the time I thought, oh, that's pretty cool, but not quite for me. Uh, but then I got turned on to the Dawn of War series, which I really, really enjoyed. And I actually liked all the background behind it. And then I realized, oh, hey, this is actually a tabletop miniatures game. And as a kid, I really liked painting models. I'm like, yeah, and I can paint little stuff, little miniatures too. And it turns out those minis are like way smaller than what they always look in the pictures. And that was about 2.5 years ago. Actually, right about the time when, yeah, my first kid was born, I decided to take up this hobby, which I think makes me kind of a horrible person, a pretty bad dad. So, but yeah, started with Warhammer 40,000. I've expanded into Infinity. I have a never been opened box of Drop Zone Commander in my closet, and little other bits and pieces here and there. I like painting. I like playing. I like the fluff. I'm kind of an all-arounder when it comes to this hobby. So, and that's me in a nutshell.
Very nice. For me,
What about you, Wild Chevy?
all right, I've been painting for. I got painting before I started actually playing. Um, I started the hobby between the transition of between fourth and fifth, so it's been quite a while, and my collection has grown since then. It's kind of gone out of hand.
How long is your backlog right now?
I don't look at the backlog. I just see miniatures, all looking at me saying, "Paint me." Um, yes. You can find me a lot online. Wild Chevy pretty much everywhere on forums. Usually, I'm the guy who promotes painting on Beasts of War. I'm also their interviewer for Gymkhana. Hopefully, again this year. Uh, do 40K, Infinity, Myth, um, Malifaux. I've got Malifaux, and hopefully Relic Knights soon once it ships.
Kingdom
And
Death,
yeah,
whenever that
Kingdom
happens.
Death. Yeah, Kickstarter has really increased my backlog.
So, but there's a lot of other great games out there too, and we don't want to limit ourselves to any one game system. So if you're sitting there looking at this going, oh my gosh, why are these guys not talking about my favorite game? Because it's the most amazing game that's ever been produced. Well, we'd like you to come on and let us know about it, how awesome your game is. So we'd be happy to talk about it. We're just speaking from our experience right now.
So, Case, what have you played today or this week?
This week, in hobbying, I have been doing a lot of painting. I've been working on my Infinity figures. Right now I'm painting the Steel Family starter box. I've been getting a little bit of crap about that because it was like, Oh, Thoracotites. Why would you ever want those guys? Myrmidons are so much better. But they're in the starter box, and I like to paint them, so I'm working on those. Uh, then game-wise, we actually played a game of 40K today. This was maybe one of the last games of 6th edition we're probably ever going to play. And we actually played against Blood Angels and Orcs, the two armies that we think are about to get updated. So me and you, we actually teamed up. We took your Grey Knights and my Tau. We'll say neither one of these lists are exceptionally optimized. We're not power gamers at all. Not exactly fluff gamers, but not power gamers.
I survived
And
till last turn.
yes, my Tau sacrificed themselves so the Emperor's poster boys could live another day. I was playing a Farsight list. He killed a war boss, so that was pretty cool in hand-to-hand combat. And I pretty much missed every other shot, failed every armor save. Was it turn 3 that I was tabled? Turn 4?
Just about.
Yeah. And we finished that game. It was one of the Ultra War missions. It was actually an Eldar mission, and nobody was playing Eldar. But it was a 5 objective mission, and they had 3 objectives to arm 1. So, but what about you? What did you do in hobby this week?
This week I did some Infinity. I played my Hawk Islam versus some Jujing, and pretty much got rolled against me. So I know how it feels now. Like I said, 40K. I also got painted my Sec Bond Heavy Rocket Launcher for the MyCast painting competition. So I got that sent off.
Yeah, and if we can later on, we'll put some links up to both of our painting. I'm an alright painter. Alan is you're actually quite a bit better than me.
I try.
Yeah, he's the cruel tutelage of Pai Mei. I get so excited. I bring in my miniature. I'm like, look at how amazing it looks. And he's like, oh, yeah, you need to learn this technique. It doesn't
Looks
suck as
good.
much as last time.
You can use a wash.
Yeah, do this better. And I go, yes, sir. And I go back and I slave away.
Other than that, I got to assemble the Kingdom Death pinups box,
Very
which that was
nice.
pretty interesting. I've got one here, see if it shows up. It's the Twilight Knight.
Yep.
I could say the plastics on these kits are pretty good. They're like GW plastics, so very easy to handle. Like fiddly bits, there's a lot of fiddly bits, so not for the faint of heart.
Was there a lot of cleanup mold lines that you had to remove?
Just the standard little bits, but they buffed out really well with some sandpaper.
Okay.
The butcher, I think it's the butcher, one with lady with the big, huge sword. She had the most little bits. She had chains and hooks and all that. That took a lot of expertise to put together.
All right. And any painting?
Nothing yet. This Twilight Knight's going to be next on the list.
Great. And we definitely have to keep those updated and show us work in project.
Yeah, people can check the progress on that on my Facebook page, Wild Chevy Designs.
All right.
Or I think it's just Facebook Wild Chevy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into a little bit of news. Obviously, today is May the 24th, the first day of 7th edition for 40K.
And
tell everybody
big.
It is big. A couple months ago, everybody was saying, it's just a kind of a consolidation of rule sets. Very much not the case. Obviously, we've got a new psychic phase. The way Flame Monsters creatures are handled, quite a bit different.
Taudar are not effective anymore.
Yes, the allies chart is very different.
And you could team up
And
with bugs.
yes, our ally matrix has been, well, it's different. I was about to say it was made easier, but that's not exactly true. I think it's a lot more difficult for most armies to gain battle brothers.
I'm
But
curious to see an Unbound match, personally.
Unbound will be very interesting. And it's interesting. Some people are saying that Unbound is going to be, this is what's going to save 40k because now finally everybody gets to just play whatever they want, however they want. And then other people are saying that this is the end. That GW has finally broken their backs. How that's going to change, nobody knows. We're on day one. I think this will actually be decided in the tournament scenes, depending on what tournaments adopt what rules and how they play them. So, but the interesting thing is I believe it was White Dwarf 18 came out today as well. If you look on the back page, you'll see there is a preview for next week. Wag! Cruel but cunning, cunning but cruel. And it looks like the orcs are going to be our first 7th edition. Alan, have you heard maybe some of the things that we can expect from them?
Nothing but rumors right now. I know GW is getting rid of their Finecast line, so everything that was Finecast and metal is probably going to be transitioned into a plastic kit. So we might see some changes for characters.
Yeah, and that means for orcs, that could be a lot of stuff. They do have as one of the oldest armies out there, they have a lot of metal.
One of the most iconic ones too. So it'll be interesting to see. Green Tide.
Orcs are they're kind of a state of being more than anything else. You could say, "Oh, I like Space Wolves, so I play a little Space Wolves." But on the side, I dabble in IG, or I've got some Necrons here and there. But orc players are green to the bone.
It's because they like their paintbrush.
But who hasn't? After that, we can only kind of assume what's going to be coming out. It looks like everybody's saying Blood Angels and then maybe Space Wolves or Space Wolves Blood Angels. No one's really sure at this point. If they are, they're either lying or they can't substantiate when they know it because they have an NDA signed.
The rumor mill will blow up once we start seeing glimpses. So.
Of the gaming systems, Infinity is humming right along.
Yep, got the releases coming down the pipe right now. Coon Bikers looking pretty good.
Yes, actually blew up Corvus Belly servers for a few hours when those pictures came out. So you have Coon Bikers, you have a Toha Sniper. We've got some Morats, some new Morat Vanguard.
Bolts.
More than Bolts, yep. And so we actually don't have our show notes written. We are kind of winging this off the cuff right now. So if we just sit there and stare at the camera for a little while, quiet because we're racking our brains trying to figure out what to say. Yes, you could tell we are professionals. If you ever wanted to believe that there was a pair of video bloggers that was one of you, I think this is a sign. So upcoming releases, sticking with Infinity, we know that the 3rd edition for Infinity is coming out. There's been a little bit of debate. Some people want to say that we'll see it at Gymkhana. Some say that there's no way, no possible way it's going to happen.
We'll hear something at Gen Con, regardless.
I don't think that Corvus Belli could walk into Gymkhana and not have answers. You get out alive.
At least they're bringing it on Angel this time. So.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting. I imagine you're going to... Are you signed up for any of those classes?
I am in a seminar. I did not get into any Meg Maples ones, but we'll see what we can pull off there.
Yeah, I saw Megan posted up some of her classes, and they were all like immediately sold out. So. I'm not going to Gymkhana, so it doesn't really matter. So they might as well, if they're not sold out, they may as well be sold out.
And if you are going to Gen Con, hit me up. I'll be filming all
Yep.
day.
So all day, we'll get you on camera. Wild Chevy will be giving out T-shirts and prizes. So
Free hugs, maybe.
maybe we'll see. Well, you're a cuddly kind of guy, so we'll see.
Hey, single and disease free. So
All right. So there's actually quite a few Kickstarters going on right now.
yes, have you seen Dust?
Yes, I got to tell you, I think the Dust guys are doing it right. They've listened to their community. They've added on some new lower level pledge levels. I've never played Dust. I've kind of looked at the models. I have no idea how the game works. But when I see that I can jump in, I can get a copy of the rules, and I can get a starter faction for $60. That has already been base coded. It's not amazing that their Kickstarter is blowing up on me.
And they're working with Battlefront, so that's worldwide distribution.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and I think these models can actually be used either for Dust Tactics or Dust Warfare. So I think Tactics is a little bit more of a board game, and Warfare is more of a tabletop.
And I think it's going to be Battlefield. So from what I heard today is that Warfare was released under Fantasy Flight, so
Mm-hmm.
Battlefront cannot make anything more under the Warfare brand. So they're coming out with Battlefield. So it's like the second iteration, but not using the same name.
All right. Sounds great. A few other Kickstarters going on. I'm checking my list here. So one of the ones that I like is called Tabletop Town. It's a cargo containers campaign, and that's all it is. You know, terrain is such a hard thing to get. You know, either you make it yourself or you buy it from somebody else, depending on who you are. The problem with buying it, oftentimes, is it gets really expensive really quick. However, these containers are fairly cheap. So, you know, for €10 or £10, which is about 20 US dollars right now, that gets you 6 containers, which is a really great deal. So, once again, this is a Kickstarter that has funded. They've still got about a week and a half to go at this point. So look up Tabletop Towns cargo containers. Well, Chevy, you got one?
Is it Arcane Factories?
Mm-hmm.
Doing digital sculpts. These are the guys that work with Wargames Consortium. They've produced some of the Les Bursley's miniatures before, and it's looking pretty good. They haven't reached really big models yet, but hopefully we'll see that soon.
Okay. And if there's any big Kickstarters, you guys feel free to comment below. Let us know about them. So that's the wonderful world of Kickstarters and all these other crowdfunding things. It seems like there's a new one coming out every couple of days.
Yeah, it makes the wallet cry.
It does. This is one of the beautiful things about having a wife that can help you. She's kind of my financier check.
The only problem I see with Kickstarters is the wait to receive your stuff.
Yeah, so let's. We're running a little bit long. We're going to keep this first one short, but let's talk about that for a second. You got a lot of people are assuming now that Kickstarters are almost a pre-order system, which really isn't true. A Kickstarter is just that. You are an investor in your company. You don't get any stock. You don't get any share of the profits. What you're hopefully getting, or what you're looking for, is some kind of prize for backing them. And because you're investing, what?
It's usually your product at a discount before anybody else.
And depending on this company, where they're at in their development cycle, their maturity as a company, their dates might not be solid. They might not even come through at all. There's been a couple of notable Kickstarter campaigns where, or for whatever reason, they've just completely fallen apart. And this is a risk you take anytime that you invest in Kickstarter. So remember that. It is an investment, not pre-buy. So I can understand if you spend $300 or $400 on a company thinking that you're going to score some amazing miniatures at a great price that look awesome, and 2 years later nothing happens. I understand that, but that is still a risk that you are taking.
It's very much buyer beware.
Yes.
No,
all right, everyone.
You spend.
Like that one time with you in Vegas, and you thought it was.
Hey,
well,
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Fair enough. Anyways, everyone, this is the Atomic Salt. This is our alpha episode, so we'll be on here again sometime in about a week.
So be sure, if you like this, comment, tell us what we can improve on, what you'd like to see, share it with your friends.
Or if you think we suck and you think we can do better, we'd love to have you on. So, I'm the Rocket Yeti.
Wild Chevy.
We'll talk to you guys next time.
Have a good one.